Warning: this article contains spoilers for Andor episodes 1-3. Andor is now streaming on Disney Plus and is proving to all other Star Wars projects how flashbacks should be utilized within a story. The first 3 episodes of Andor are split between 2 time periods. One of these is BBY 5 years before the events of Rogue One, and centers on Cassian Andor's struggles to survive in an Empire-led galaxy that lead him to become embroiled in the fledgling Rebel Alliance. The other central time period of Andor's first 3 episodes is shown in flashbacks to Cassian's childhood, when he was known as Casa, and proves the correct way to use flashbacks. Andor was confirmed to begin 5 years before Rogue One, and Cassian's involvement in the stealing of the Death Star plans, with future seasons shortening the gap between the 2 projects. However, one thing that may have come as a surprise to viewers was the focus on Andor's childhood. While one of the more memorable lines from Cassian in Rogue One provided hints to his early years in which he insists he's been involved in the fight against the Empire since he was 6 years old, many weren't expecting such a focus on Cassian's upbringing. It came as a surprise then, when a lot of Andor's inaugural 3 episodes spent time on Kenari, Cassian's home planet. One thing that these flashbacks provide, outside of the enrichment of Andor's story which will be explored later, is a template for Lucasfilm to use when employing flashbacks in the future. Not only do the flashbacks stand out as interesting narrative threads in their own right, but they also add to the story in a way that the Star Wars saga has sometimes struggled to do. Through the Andor show, Star Wars now has the perfect way to use flashbacks in the future, thanks to Tony Gilroy and the many involved in Andor's production. Star Wars has struggled with flashbacks before. The main reason why this is important is due to Star Wars' previous woes with flashbacks, especially in recent years. While shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi included flashbacks that worked well enough, there was some criticism that the show should have included more centering on Anakin and Obi-Wan. Similarly, The Mandalorian has employed flashbacks across its 2 seasons to sparse yet effective results. More recently though, the Book of Boba Fett received a lot of criticism for its flashback sequences. The main sections of these flashbacks that were a specific point of contention were the parts involving Boba's stint with the Tusken Raiders. While these flashbacks did feature an enjoyable train heist sequence, the majority of the flashbacks amounted to nothing in terms of contributing to the main plot, outside of Fett's new outlook on tribes and family. Because of this, the flashbacks were divisive and were often said to slow the plot in the early episodes, taking time away from showing Fett's escapades as a crime lord, which the show promised to focus on. Another Star Wars project that featured divisive flashbacks was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. When the film was released in 2017, the flashbacks surrounding the true origins of Kylo Ren and how Luke Skywalker was directly involved caused a massive uproar among one half of the Star Wars fandom. Because of this, the fandom was left divided and arguably still is to this day, with The Last Jedi and its flashbacks to Luke Skywalker's days as a Jedi Master often serving as the main focus of Star Wars' recent controversy. Andor's flashbacks show other Star Wars projects how it's done with Andor. However, the showrunners are showing other Star Wars projects how to successfully employ flashbacks and are righting the wrongs of previous attempts. Firstly, the flashbacks in Andor fix the issues that plagued Book of Boba Fett's by being interesting enough in their own right. While aspects of Boba's flashbacks were interesting, such as his meeting with Fennec Shand and escape from the Sarlacc pit, the majority of the sequences felt like needless filler that distracted from the much more intriguing present-day story. With Andor though, the flashbacks set during Cassian's childhood provide both an insight into a previously unexplored Star Wars planet and culture, and plenty of information on Cassian's backstory. Also, Andor's flashbacks have proven that they tie both thematically and narratively into the story the show is telling. The ending of episode 3 proves this, with some very clever intercutting between the flashback sequences and the story of Cassian as an adult, exemplifying the thematic threads that connect the two time periods. Narratively, they also tie to the main story by showcasing Cassian's loss of his sister, removal from his home planet, the mining disaster which spurs his hatred of the Empire, and his familial connection with the people shown in BBY5. All of this proves why Andor is successfully utilizing flashbacks and how it should certainly be done in upcoming Star Wars movies and TV shows. New episodes of Andor release on Wednesdays on Disney+. Want more Andor articles? Check out our essential content below. Andor Episode 3 Ending Explained, in detail, Andor Cast and Character Guide BBY5 explained. Andor's timeline is more important than you realize. Star Wars Corporate Zone explained how many episodes are in Andor and when the finale is.